Tonight, Green Flag TV is happy to bring you tonight's coverage of the Blazing Pedals ARCA Series as we visit iRacing's virtual Echo Park Speedway. We go super speedway racing tonight from Hampton, Georgia. Good evening, everyone. I'm Justin Prince. Alongside me is Emmett Crow. Our producer this evening is Dustin Ollis. We get set for what's going to be an interesting one. 196 laps, this 1.54 mile super speedway. And we're getting into the swing of things for a busy campaign as we approach that run for the championship. This stretch going to feature New Atlanta, Martinsville, Milwaukee, and Las Vegas before we take that Labor Day weekend break. And then these drivers focus on one thing, the battle for the championship. A diverse schedule here, Emmett, as we continue through this schedule.
Yeah, definitely diverse. I mean, we're on the high banks at Atlanta, and next week we're on the half-mile short paper clip of Martinsville, and then going to the Milwaukee Mile, another flat track, and then pick it right back up with a mile and a half at Vegas.
It's going to be an interesting stretch, to say the very least. How are things looking in the standings? Well, Dalton Kilrose still remains your top driver point standings-wise. Taylor Butcher-Benjamin and Justin Levine, your top three. Mark Arthur in front of Brian Zimmerman. Perkins, Gibson, Carroll, Brian Dees, and Trevor Harmon are amongst your top 10 in the driver standings coming into today. Now, how have things gone for the team side? It's gotten wider and wider, the spread. 7 different teams have picked up the best odds on getting the team's best and worst finisher average so far this season. One sim was able to pick up the win last time out at Charlotte with Levine. That put them at 3 on the season and to third place on their own, except for MFRD in the standings. So things are getting interesting for many of these competitors when it comes to the run for the championship, Emmett.
Yeah, it's definitely getting interesting. You know, we saw a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, we saw Dalton Kilroe pick up the win, and then Justin Levine actually going back-to-back from Kansas and winning also Charlotte. So Levine's got some momentum, so it'll be interesting to see if he can make it 3 in a row right here.
So drivers now on the track for qualifying. They have 7 minutes remaining out of 10 minutes. It's their fastest times, and some of these drivers making it pretty clear they're keeping it nice and careful here before they go full throttle. Chris Carroll now is starting to build up the speeds. Looks like he's trying to manage the temperatures of the tires.
Yeah, likes to run it right up against that wall right there. That's where all that speed is here at Echo Park. And you go into the turn, you know, sometimes you want to bury it down there. Well, I like to run it right there, ripping the fence, because there's a lot of speed up there, and that's where we've seen a lot of these guys. When it comes to race time, that's where a lot of these races have been won from, is that outside line.
And now we'll see what the true time gets put down. Right now, Taylor Butcher-Benjamin has set the fastest lap times out of everybody over Dees, Moody, Lagoons, Payne making an appearance tonight. Bruden wants the drivers who have set times. Of course, the bottom of the racetrack, the place to go for your second time around. Carroll, trying as he might to pave the line, is clipping a little bit of it though. Can use a bit of the apron to also save some time here for the lap. 32.326. He's a 10th off where he needs to be for the Super Speedway qualifying. So Brian Zimmerman now on the racetrack. We've seen some good flashes of speed from him this season. He's right now trying to build up the run, also high side, as some drivers have issues, you can see on the top pylon, with getting their cars going for quality.
Yeah, trying to get going, and right here, you don't want to get your wheels past that that red and white line, Justin, because it is so slick down there, and that's basically out of bounds when it comes to the race. They treat it like the double yellow line at Talladega and Daytona, so I want to keep it right there, right as close as I can on this second lap, because there's a lot of speed down there that can be put.
where Zimmerman now matches up. He is in the 2s, going up for 5th spot. 32.268 is the time. Cody Gibson now on the racetrack. Munzel's trying to put up a time also. We've seen great speed from him in the past few weeks, the 1.5 miles. And your thoughts so far every time you've seen Gibson on what you've seen in terms of his speed in the 7?
So Gibson showed the speed on these 1.5 miles, and he's been there at the end. It's just, he just gets caught up in these late race wrecks or gets caught behind a couple cars and hasn't been able to, get up there and battle Levine or Kilrose. So look for him to have a good shot tonight and turn his luck and fortune around for sure.
Right bit of the middle, that time down the back straightaway. He is giving some space to that whited red line compared to some of the others who tried to almost paint it. See how that impacts his lap time here. It's actually very quick. It's the top time. 32.203. Never mind. Kyle Wellman making a start tonight for Five Kings. Jumps to the top of the board in the 1s. He's the only driver be in the 1s this session as Ty Marasco tries to build some speed. Laurie Bell didn't really cut the apron too much, able to get to 6th. Kobe Jackson, Dalton Kilroy, among some of the others that are on track right now trying to set times. There is the run now for the 73, currently scored 14th. He did not run the high side, it looked like, for much of that lap.
Yeah, a lot of these guys have drifted down to the bottom, it looks like, when they start their qualifying laps. So as qualifying goes on, the track's going to change just a little bit, but because the temperature's probably going to change, but the times are getting faster for sure, Justin.
Yeah, right now Wellman's time looks like it might stick up there with only 2 minutes remaining. We all have Dalton Kilroy, Mark Arthur, Tanner Marr, Austin Edstrom, Justin Levine, Mike Massengill, and John Perkins yet to set qualifying times. Kilroy is on a heater here. For reference, we've seen the last driver just run the bottom, coming to the line to the 7s, be able to jump up to 5th in Kobe Jackson. Did let the car drift up to the middle. We've seen that work for the pole time already, or for 2nd as well for Gibson. Let's see where Kilroy stands. This time, doesn't cut the apron, and it puts him at a 32.2.
Wow.
Yeah, most people have been cutting down on the apron. He did not, interestingly enough. Might have cost him a little bit of time, possibly, compared to some of the others, as Mark Arthur from Two Dudes Racing looking to set the tone. Those drivers very consistent all season as a unit from Two Dudes.
Yeah, definitely. I believe they're leading the team points, right? I believe.
Yes.
So yeah, they've been so consistent. Mark's done a great job in this number 12 Barbie machine. This Barbie Mustang has definitely been fast on these 1.5 miles. But just like Cody Gibson, he's been caught up in those late race wrecks, and it's really costing in the end.
Working with John Perkins specifically as part of their respective unit here in this series. Perkins also is on their final time around in the session. They'll be the last 2 to qualify. Marr, Edstrom, Levine, Massengill will not set times, so will start at the tail and in about the 20s. But where will Arthur stand? He was in the 33 flats on lap 1. Cuts down under 170 at the line. 3.22. John Perkins, his time, he goes even lower. He was in the 32.7s. He goes 2 spots better. Then Mark Arthur gets to 4th. And that should just about put a pin, and will put a pin, in the qualifying session here tonight from Echo Park Speedway. And it's time to find out who's going to hear the echo ring supreme. Up at the top, Kyle Wellman sets the pole. He put up a 32.185. Cody Gibson, 18,000s behind him, starts in second. TBB and John Perkins will be in the top 4 here in Atlanta. Brian D starts in 5th. Mark Arthur is next to him in 6th. Kobe Jackson starts alongside Nicholas Moody. Moody will bring the sheriff in town. Dalton Kilrow brings the party up from the 9th spot. Lori Bell rounds out your top 10, Emmett.
Yeah, in 11th, we're going to find Ty Marasco lined up next to Hunter Lagoons in 12th. And further back, we're going to find Trevor Harmon in 13th, lined up next to Brian Zimmerman in 14th from 5 Kings Racing. In 15th, we're going to see Dustin Ping making a start, lining up next to Chris Carroll in the 16 machine. And then we'll find in 17th, William Bruton lining up next to Jess Hadley in the Hey Arnold machine in 18th. And that's where you find the man that's been hot in this Blazing Pedals League, Mr. Justin Levine, lined up next to Austin Edstrom in 20th. And then you find Tanner Marr in 21st, lined up next to Mike Massengill in the 20 machine in 22nd.
That will look top to bottom at the running order here tonight for this one. So these drivers now get themselves in position to see where they're going to run throughout the night. So, overall, Emmett, your keys to victory here from Echo Park Speedway as we get ready to go super speedway racing with stages at laps 40 and 80.
Yeah, so ever since they did this repavement to Atlanta, it's been, you throw your complete strategy that you used to have when you came here. It's all about being in the draft and being at the right moment, making the right moves and keeping your stuff clean, staying out of trouble, and it's all about surviving and advancing.
Yes, indeed. It's going to be an interesting night for these competitors as they'll now get the chance to roll onto the racetrack. Just about ready to go from Hampton, Georgia. Who do you think is going to be the best out of these drivers tonight? Who do you think is going to get the win and why? No, it could be a tough choice.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough choice. If it was a normal mile and a half, you know, we'd have to go with Kilrow or Levine as the statistics show, but this ain't a normal mile and a half. So I don't know. It's a toss-up. It could be any one of these guys could come out with this victory today, Justin.
Could be an interesting race for many of these competitors here. Kyle Wellman ready to control things for when we hit the start box here tonight. Again, happy with us here on Green Flag TV. Tonight's coverage of Blazing Pedals and its ARCA Series. So we get ready to rip this track at full throttle for the most part. Dalton Kilrow has now parked it for the night. He is gone.
Oh, man.
So your points leader is not going to make the start tonight after taking part of qualifying. So something going on there. But the rest of the field will take the green. It's now up. The green is out. We're underway from Echo Park. First lap goes to the outside line. Cody Gibson getting a push from the Two Dudes Racing machines. And now everybody ditching the 7. It's going to be John Perkins looking to get some lead laps instead. Momentum dies off instead. Nicholas Moody able to fill the hole. This track so momentum based and with this package so difficult to drive. The bottom line has the better gamesmanship and teamwork as the top line dissipates its energy.
Yeah, definitely. But if I'm John Perkins, that's who I want to see behind me, is that pink and white 12 car of Mark Arthur, because that's my teammate, and I know that he's going to help me, and we can get away from this field.
like Gen 6 when it came to the NASCAR stock cars, these drivers do also have the super speedway body look on them. They'll have bigger back bumpers essentially on the race cars, allow more space to actually make contact and push each other around the racetrack. Now the tough thing about Echo Park is these cars usually don't get enough pull to get a lot of bump drafts down, but when you do need it, you can't get it down as they're running the middle with the bump draft. Arthur will take the swap for the lead.
Yeah, we see Mark Arthur drive on the inside of his teammate. He's got drafted help from Kyle Wellman, and they're all just going to follow through. And now John Perkins looks like he's been hung out to dry on that high side, Justin.
Interesting to have your teammate get left out, but also getting left out is Arthur. Kyle Wellman driving his way to the race lead. He's had good success as of late in some of the Aero League seen on the network. Now it goes to the point as you see the two dudes racing machines now take the top.
Look at Justin Levine, Justin. I mean, he started in 19th and he's already up to 6th.
I mean, what else can you say?
Yeah.
Track position is track position, but in some cases, if you're talented enough to pick the lines, you can find your way up front. We have an narrow lead change. Kyle Wellman took the lead lap and said, I'm going to drop to the back now. Nicholas Moody now goes up front. Tonight's fuel limit is 75%, by the way, so these drivers will have to think a little bit about fuel, but not expect it to be in the first two stages here. At least based on what we've seen some of these drivers do, more than 60 in some other cars here. But you still, for later on in the runs, might see a couple pit stops for when we get to stage 3. So some fuel management may come into play later.
Yeah, definitely. And communication is key, because if somebody comes in and nobody knows, we could have chaos break out coming into pit road for sure.
Touch upon some issues potentially as well with the caution flags and pit road as well for these drivers that they'll have to watch out for here. More drivers still trying to find the way forward here. Jess Hadley. Seen him appear a few weeks ago initially. He is right just outside the top 10. Third car on the outside. One of the things you'll notice here at this track is these cars tend to sway a fair bit in the corner.
Yeah, they definitely do. And they've only got 500 horsepower, so that's the bad thing about this. And it's going to make it hard to pass here, because these cars with this aero package, it's just hard to pass. Like, they think NASCAR thinks that they make an improvement, and it's 1 step forward, 3 steps back. But it'll be interesting to see how they adjust to that tonight, Justin.
A curious case for some of these competitors. Here's your weather conditions radar. Again, 98 degrees is your track temp at the moment, 87 the air temp. We are in a late evening setting, so we are expecting the lights to turn on with a 2-times sky. Not too much wind being a factor either for these drivers. So there isn't much to withstand during the straightaways at least, or any turbulence to affect the cornering speed or cornering handling yet. Austin Edstrom, we've seen him recently looking strong in his starts appearing in the series. First time we've seen him recently in Kansas, he tried to drive a skewed car and crashed the car. Last week, a lot better. He was in a drag race with Levine. Levine got it at the stripe at Charlotte during a long one.
Yeah, the one race that we couldn't be at was the best race. Oh, man.
I mean, he's also a friend of Levine, a longtime team member when it comes to one sim operations off and on.
Yeah, big improvement from Edstrom, and we see that confidence is really self-confidence of last week finishing in the top 2 has really boosted it, and he's having a great run today at Atlanta so far.
Up in the lead now, Dustin Payne, but for how long? The one sim machine of Edstrom is on the charge. already up to second. He's been working with Brian Dees to be able to make up the track position. Drove on the outside 3 wide to make it work. Now he's able to make it work to the race lead. Up to the point. The 87 started this race in 20th. It's only taken him 13 and a half laps to get to first.
Yeah, and not like Kansas, I said it wasn't a finger-looking good moment. This is a finger-looking good moment for Austin Edstrom for sure.
Yes, indeed. It's going to be an interesting time for a lot of these competitors with a back and forth. Not one driver seems to really just want to stay in place here. And that's the thing normally you would see with these types of races here, Emmett, is stay aligned, work together, find your teammates, stuff like that. These drivers seem a lot more antsy compared to what you would expect early.
Yeah, they seem a lot more racy right now, and that's really interesting because we still got a long way to go. So, I mean, they're racing like this is the final stage, but I mean, even to the stage, it's still what, 30, 20, 25 laps? 25 laps left, and that's to get to that stage. So, I don't understand why everyone's pushing it so early.
I mean, my thought at least is trying to have a little bit of fun with it, maybe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because some people's cup of tea is lead every lap, win by 25 seconds, never see a car, lap the field. Some is 25 lead changes in 25 laps. Then, on the last lap, I'm the one who wins the race. Or, in the case of tonight, trying to have some fun, slingshotting, trying to get runs, building up momentum, going back and forth. No one driver controlling things. We've got the third one going on right now in terms of racing style for these competitors, where we're seeing not a lead change every lap, but we're seeing a lot of runs of different drivers getting chances, in some of their cases, get some of their first lead laps of the season or in a while, compared to what you'd see at a mile and a half. And there's a lot of people saving fuel.
Yeah, there's a lot of people saving fuel. But yeah, look at this top 10, Justin. I mean, there's names that we haven't seen all season in a long time, and they're running up there. So definitely the third option, and I guess everyone's just giving 110% until that checker flag waves, because this has been some great racing for sure.
Yeah, right now we're seeing the top two sort of start to pull a small buffer over everybody. Gibson yet again leads the top. That top line, it's been actually working really well with this car. This has been, compared to the Cup car, it takes a lot of momentum in the first place to do this. But here tonight with this ARCA car, it seems like that outside just gets so much momentum. Even in the corners, the outside gets the pull. It's like the pre-update draft model with the way it handles with some of these drivers.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's definitely, of course, like this is that Gen 6 package. So, as Dale Jr. says, they got those big A spoilers. But definitely the big bumpers and the rear bumpers, it's definitely almost like going back to the tandem days. Kind of a mix of the tandem and a mix of the pack, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I would think so, possibly. I don't know about the tandem. I know some of the bump drafts of two-car groups have worked a bit of momentum when you do it right. But it isn't like the car tomorrow where we've seen two-car tandems run away. I'd really like to see iRacing actually implement that someday. They used to have the old style spoiler back in 2011 when they had the car. But of course, these days they have the new spoiler, if you're lucky to even have that car. So, it's almost went to the wall. 50 car bouncing off the wall. It's Hadley. No scrapes. We stay green. They hold on to it.
Yeah, look at Colby Howard. He had to get out of the gas right there. He almost got sideways also.
Bit of a sketchy moment now. We are about that point of the run where things usually tend to start happening with some of the drivers. Hadley just did not turn. Last time by, he almost hit the wall again. He is struggling to turn the car.
Yeah, he's struggling for sure, but I meant Colby Jackson, not Colby Howard. I don't know where I got Colby Howard, but yeah, hard hit from Jess Hadley right there. Man.
I think Colby Howard is a driver who appeared in real life in NASCAR for the, I believe, truck and Xfinity.
I believe so, yeah. I think that's where I got it from.
So Hadley's car right there. He's turning too late. That actually puts him up for grabs for someone to take him 3 wide if they want to up the middle.
Well, here's the thing. So that quad oval, it may look like it's very wide, but it is so narrow. And I think that's what Hadley's having a hard time doing, is judging where he needs to hit his marks going into that quad oval. And it's really causing him to have, he's got all kinds of problems. Man.
Yeah. Did it again, and that forced him to check up, lose momentum. Colby Jackson nearly got into the back end of him again. You can see him in the mirror. That checks everybody up, including Arthur, 3 wide behind him. Now it's Bruden being passed on by Lori Bell, and they all just lost the draft from it.
Yeah, and also, for our championship contender, Mr. Mark Arthur, he's going to drop all the way to the back, possibly. Actually, he's going to get around Bruden, but yeah, they definitely lost the lead draft, and this is going to be a long time trying to get it back. They need to get hooked up so that they can push Bell and they can catch back up to the lead draft.
Just see it coming like a slow train wreck there. And now they've lost the draft already of more than a second or two. As a result of that situation, they need to work together to close up more than a second to get back in the slipstream of the main pack. You see them trying to triple car tandem. Now they're trying to battle instead. Not working together very well. Last time by, they lost 2 tenths. Trying to stay lined up. They are going to probably be in a spot where they'll need a lot more battling, or they're going to be just like this until lap 40, less than 15 to go in the stage.
Yeah, they need to. It's like Kyle Busch when Alex Bowman was a rookie, and they were in the shootout, and he told him, he said, if you stay behind, if you push me, we can catch them. If you pass me, we're not going to be able to catch them. And that's what they need. And now they're getting hooked up for the moment. So maybe they'll start freight training. Well, never mind.
I believe there was an update from Dalton Kilroe, by the way, that just noticed here. He reported that his ISP lost all competence and couldn't give him a stable connection. So it just kicked him out of the sim. Because he doesn't have internet, his VR headset will not turn on. So Dalton Kilroe essentially was not able to run tonight due to technical issues where you need internet to be able to get the VR headset to work. You need internet to get the sim working. All of that doesn't work here tonight, and that's why Kilroe is a DNS.
Yeah, and of course they were talking about a couple weeks ago in Kansas. They were talking about Kilroe. They were hoping that he was going to have a stable connection.
Look at 3 wide. Justin Levine amongst those trying to force the issue. Chris Carroll, he runs the middle. At 97, long time on the sim. Known for running some 51 Saints. Oh, some near contact on Jackson. Levine trying to find a way to get the edge. Carroll just keeping it middle. This won't last for long.
No, this won't.
Look at this. More 3 wide. Now it's Perkins getting signed drafted. The 5 Kings car of Kyle Wellman pulled him on back. There are 7 cars running with 5 Kings in its alliance tonight. Wow. Lagoons is amongst them tonight, by the way, who is running with that unit. So that's the biggest conglomerate by far, and many of those drivers are in this 3-wide battle.
Yeah, so they're that'd be hard. Oh,
No!
Justin Levine.
2 of the drivers working together from one sim. That's Jackson in the wall with Levine. Levine had to check up from it. No damage to either of their cars, but that does force Levine to have to back off and reset.
And that just shows the skill from Justin Levine, because that could have been a big wreck right there.
Yeah, watch right here. Jackson trying to go high. Wellman was already blocking it off. Levine was all over the bumper. Ends up losing ground and is now back to the rear end. Communications on the radio popping up as they now battle for the race lead. Lagoons now up to the race lead for the first time tonight. He started this race up in 12 and now able to have 5 Kings control both lines. We are now coming to 6 laps to go in stage number 1 here from Echo Park. And these drivers are starting to play Pied Piper.
Yeah, look at this. Here comes Kyle Wellman, trying to get some help from Jackson. And Levine back on the back bumper. Jackson just trying to get Wellman to the lead.
Oh, 3 wide.
Oh,
Sprint to the wall for Jackson. They're getting a little bit sketchy out here, trying to battle for a stage win already, try and pick up some points.
Yeah, we got less than 5 laps to go when they hit the line right here for this stage. And look at this, Austin Edstrom getting a big shot from Colby Jackson. That'll push him out to the lead. And now Levine's going to try to give Jackson a big shot right here and reciprocate it. But that push for Jackson actually made Edstrom a sitting duck, because here comes the energy from these two lead cars. Oh man!
Oh, a little bit sketchy with the checkups there. Levine and Carroll went bumping. Some apologies on the radio as these drivers having some big checkups now in the pack with what's going on here. Down to 4 laps to work with in stage 1. Kobe Jackson, Justin Levine, Austin Edstrom now make it all 1 sim, 1, 2, 3. And they're keeping the bottom line rolling pretty quickly here. Now here comes 5 Kings now on the right side. Now it's a team battle as 5 Kings has the numbers.
Yeah, look at the high side right there, led by Chris Carroll. Now Austin Edstrom will shoot up high to block that line, but it wasn't open. Oh man, that could have been trouble right there. But yeah, look at Lagoons giving a big shot to Wellman. And that's allowing Carroll to get the momentum and get out front of Edstrom.
Coming to 2 to go now. Here comes the run now from Edstrom. No push from Jackson yet. Better pull once again for the outside for Carroll. Pit lane is closed. Pit lane is officially closed for stage number 1. Will Carroll find a way to make sure he gets the edge? Or will Edstrom be able to get the bottom rolling with the help of team power? 3x3 in terms of the team alliances.
Here they go through the high side. And that's what Chris Carroll needed to do right there. Back up to Kyle Wellman to give him a big shot, but he just couldn't get it.
Final time around here in stage number 1. Carroll, great run on the outside with Wellman. Wellman pushes up trying to give him the run. Carroll just about clear of the 87. Jackson tries to build the momentum back in turns 3 and 4. The bottom revs back to life. Edstrom is pushed by his teammate to the apron.
He saved it. What a save.
Chris Carroll will win the stage. Kyle Wellman second. Hunter Lagoons along with Butcher Benjamin and Jackson. Amongst the top 5, Gibson, Dees, Payne and Levine. Edstrom still holds on to the top 10. They all went sliding around after that slide. Watch this. This is why you don't push in the corner.
Man, how do you not wreck that?
Chaotic, to say the very least. Oh,
Oh!
and John Perkins got turned under the caution. And right into Velasco.
Man.
Chaos abound as now it's time for pit stops, but we like to remind you that this series is presented by Ohio and Indiana Roofing, a premier roofing contractor. They are a sister company to the Bruns Construction Enterprise, specializing in commercial and industrial roofing. They are committed to accommodating the unique needs of each client and offering creative solutions to meet those needs. They also have a team of individuals who will work for the same common goals: professionalism, quality, and service. Services they offer include preventative maintenance, re-roof and new construction, infrared scanner, green roof solutions, metal, retrofit, emergency repair services, and more. Please visit oiroofing.com for more information. Most of the field has pit, and here is the thing that I wanted to bring up here. There was a reason eNASCAR took this race off its schedule and decided to go to Pocono instead. As you know, the pit commitment cone is actually in turn 3 here at Echo Park Speedway, where you have to enter down the back straightaway, then hit the commitment cone, and then run basically about 110 or so. Once you roll on the apron in 3 and 4, then you hit the speed limit when you hit the yellow cone officially down at the start of pit road. This is the commitment box here. So you have to stay under this line the whole time around. Now, the reason eNASCAR decided they were not going to run this race, according to NASCAR's own statement, was because there is still a glitch. This is more so, I think, from the previous times updated, where they didn't carry it over for the pace car updates, is the pace car still doesn't open the pit road until turn 3 after that cone for the race leader and the top drivers.
Yeah,
as you can see, Chris Carroll's getting the black flag because the pit entry, he had to come down, and that's part of the issue here. So he's going to lose the lead and have a black flag because essentially the pit road is acting like the cone, the commitment cone is still out of turn 4 rather than entry to turn 3 based on the track design.
Wow.
And all I'm going to say is coding is hard for these tracks. It's a unique situation when it comes to this racetrack compared to others on the schedule. But it's still a challenge that plenty of the drivers now in the field just had to come down this time by. Instead, the back half of the field essentially was able to take tires. Those drivers were only able to take fuel only, who just pit on the second time around.
That's they definitely need to get that fixed. Because I mean, if eNASCAR is coming out and saying, "Hey, this is why we're not going to run here," that's a big problem for sure.
So Taylor Butcher Benjamin from all of that now inherits the race lead. Brian Dees followed by Austin Edger, Mark Arthur, Mike Massengill, Nicholas Moody, the top 6. We'll see what happens here. Green flag is out. We're back underway. And there is confusion now over the radio for all those drivers that just did exactly that and now essentially dealing with penalties. Carroll is the only one who got the pit road closed penalty. And now the rest of the field battles it out. Well, the 97 has to sort something out.
Yeah, we see right here going.
Oh, they're not going to clear the penalty either.
Wow. That's that's huge.
Oh, now they've said they were going to clear it. And now Carroll's skipping out on pit road. This has turned chaotic. They announced that as he entered for pit road.
Oh my gosh.
So it is cleared, but unfortunately, he was going to serve the penalty and ended up not finding out that they were going to clear it until after he was below that commitment cone in 3. So, chaotic start. Mark Arthur losing some ground already. 4th on forward, building a buffer. You see some big time gaps that built up from some of the confusion there. Hadley also lost a lap in all that, by the way.
Wow.
Here and it's for damage repair to the 50 car. That's after he spent more than 2 minutes down pit road.
I was about to say, he did have some hard licks, so I could understand why he came in to fix that damage.
So, we run to lap 80, and then it's a long time on the racetrack. After that, we'll be running more than 100 laps, basically more than an hour and a half almost. That's the interesting thing about this series for those who haven't watched. It's been interesting to me where you have these short stints to start the race, but then you have basically a full distance race at the end of it for a lot of these competitors. These races actually run longer in lap count in some cases than the ARCA Series runs in real life.
Yeah, these guys run almost the same as like a truck or an Xfinity race for sure. But they run the ARCA cars.
I mean, some people love it, some people not as much love it. Mark Arthur, now Alonso's trying to get the outside line working, by the way. You see just how aggressive some of the side traffic can be. If you're able to get towards those on the inside line, you can slow up the momentum, try and pull them on back. In the case of Arthur, I think he's trying to force it to be able to move to the bottom and ditch the 20.
Yeah, definitely trying to move it down to the bottom and leaving the 20 out to dry. Massengill. But, oh man, big checkup right there.
Yeah, the bottom didn't have the momentum. One sim actually worked as a unit and took the first, second, and third spots away from that checkup. Dustin Enstrom yet again leads as you see some of the drivers testing out their lines, testing out their runs here. And so much in terms of the thought process. This is also an important time, Emmett, on this is where you find some friends.
Yeah,
you
this
test
is
out
like,
the combinations.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off, but yeah, I like to picture this as like you're at a, you remember, Justin, when you're in junior high or high school and you're trying to ask that special lady to dance, and you go to that dance and it's very awkward, but when you find that special dance partner, then it's not awkward. So that's what I think these guys are going through for sure.
Yeah, right now, seeing some of these momentum swings from the high side, looking like Bruton not comfortable, wants out of it. Likes to back out by going all the way to the high side, destroys the run of Dustin Payne. Bruton puts himself on the wall. Bruton bouncing off the outside wall still. No damage. Able to hold on to it, even though he tries so many times to rip the side of the car off.
Yeah, definitely. He was definitely ripping the fence right there, but he's going to take the whole side off. But no momentum from wall riding right there. But he's dropping like a rock.
And now the pack split up. Here's the look. Slain by Payne, went too high, then bounced off the wall. It's like, oh, I'm good. I'm good. Nope. Campers up, hits the wall again. And now he's in a pack that's completely lost the draft of the leaders here. In fact, they've dropped 1.6 seconds back. Marasco leading the second pack now. And so about nearly half the field is now out of contention in this main group. That includes Bruton, and they're now switching the lead car here That's going to slow them up even more. They have already lost more than 2 seconds.
Yeah, once again, they're trying to battle and they need to work together if they want to catch this lead draft. And now Bruton is hung out to dry on that high side. I think he needs to, lift just a hair and get in line, and then just push and push and push until you catch up to that lead draft of 100 Lagoons. And then that's when you can start fighting your way back to the front for sure.
Meanwhile, Taylor Butcher Benjamin yet again takes the lead. He's been good this season. He's been competitive, beating for some wins here and there. See him a fair bit on the sim. Ollis, a fun character, usually has top 10 speed at best. He's been good in this series, though, in this car. Been picking his spots to be able to get some top 5s in all season.
Yeah, and if I remember right, TBB won at Texas, I believe, if I remember right.
I believe so.
Yeah, TBB really showing that speed on these mile and a half, and he's had great runs. He just hasn't been there at the end, but the super speedway hybrid mile and a half, he's really showing some great speed and definitely working good in the draft for sure.
Yeah, we're seeing some of these drivers continue to dance around. Let me ask you this. Do you prefer to be up at the front or in the back in these races, and why?
I prefer to be in the back because if you're in the front, I think you're a sitting duck. Unless you throw the block at the right time. But if you're in the back, then you can judge when you can make that move, give them that old slingshot and get in front, or, just be able to get out of the gas and just try to set them up to make that move. But I prefer just to be in the back, Justin. Out of all that.
Yeah. I mean, I like there is a lot of pros and cons to each of the situations. If you're up at front, you're being competitive, you have the chance to control the field, you have the chance to lead, the chance to be in front of incidents, but you also, at the counterpoint, are going to be one of the first layers to respond to big incidents that happen up at the front, have a lot of potential for chaos and calamity. So there is that thought process in the back. You're able to keep yourself safe, have escape room for incidents, be able to think clearly and just watch what's going on. But you also risk losing time. Speaking of drivers losing time, Chris Carroll does indeed get lapped here. And this will split up the pack.
I think, talk about being the leader, you're talking about pros and cons. Unless you're Brad Keselowski, then it's all cons from the blocks that you throw. But yeah, it's definitely interesting to see where you want to be. But I still want to be the pusher, and I don't want to be the receiver.
You want to be the person that helps people, is what you're saying.
Yeah, definitely.
Right now, John Perkins, Justin Levine trying to work there on the high side. Carroll has blended into 30 in line here. Decent spot. As long as nothing major happens and doesn't have a bump draft at the start and finish line coming to the end of the stage here. Should be in a position to be able to score the lucky dog spot. So it's not the end-all be-all for Chris Carroll. It's just going to be, again, now that drivers know that situation, they're going to have to keep an eye on that all night long and know what's going to potentially happen with that pit road entry.
Yeah, and we see Jess Hadley on pit road, just trying to. So his night's going from worse to even more worse. Probably fixing that damage that he suffered. But that does help Chris Carroll out, because now Carroll is the only car 1 lap down. So, well, now he's back battling for the lead lap. So, who knows?
Yeah, now he's able to unlap himself, and Jess Hadley, by the way, pit a while ago due to issues. The 50 machine was the only other car running a lap down and had still picked up damage. So he had been struggling on his own after slamming the wall again. So Carroll would be the only driver contending for even that lucky dog if he was to not lead these packs now. Less than 15 to go in the stage as he works with John Perkins and Justin Levine on the high side. But they try and clear themselves around here. It looks like Perkins thought about it for a moment.
Yeah, and look at John Perkins and Justin Levine using Chris Carroll as a pick to get around Austin Edstrom, and now we see Levine drop down in front of Edstrom trying to pick up that momentum. But Perkins having the draft from Carroll is actually going to help him side draft with Levine as they go when they work down the backstretch. That's why these guys are running a drag race if they can get hooked up right here.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. It is getting almost to the point where the lights need to turn on soon. It's already almost 8 o'clock in sim time. Sun starting to set behind the grandstands. You see all the shade really hitting the racetrack here. That's going to impact some of the visibility for the next little bit. But no major concerns per se. As they have a bit of the wiggles coming to 11 laps to go in stage 2.
Yeah, and yeah, and the weird thing is, Justin, we haven't had a big dramatic track temperature change, but as the sun sets, that'll change and there'll be more downforce put on the track. And with these cars, downforce is a real premium to help you get around. Oh my gosh.
Caution flag is out for the first time, not for a stage end. The stage had been flying, and now we see incidents fly. Mark Arthur absolutely demolished amongst those in this incident. And we're under yellow. That was towards the back end of the field. Somebody had a big connection blip, and it was Taylor Butcher Benjamin.
Oh, Mark Arthur.
My goodness.
Well, looked like a little neck code. That car just whipped around.
That was pretty significant, to say the least.
That was, I mean,
there's air on, there's air, and then there's having a hurricane gust into your fender.
Yeah, for real. With only 4-mile-an-hour winds here at Echo Park, we just saw must have had a downburst or a monsoon, and that's where that wind came from. But look at this right here.
Yeah, that was significant. Very significant. Dustin paying nowhere to go, obviously. Mark Arthur not expecting to get hit by the air. And a lot of people having some confusion with the pit road now, as many drivers are split here. 8 drivers stayed out. The rest of them pit, and that leaves no room for goons for Massengill once those in TBB. Rolls on out the first off pit road with a 2-tire call, 4 tires for Cody Gibson. So this will change up the equation a little bit on the strategy possibly. TBB gets an end of longest line penalty. Let's look on board. This is Larry Bell.
Oh, man.
Hit the back of one, hits the side on another. That's going to see him have a lengthy time down pit road here, and he's parked it. Tanner Marr did as well. EOL, for cause of caution, does go to TBB. Normally, I don't know if you see that per se from the car that caused the technical blip, but I think that was egregious. That
Yeah.
that was obviously somebody having an internet blip at the worst time. Levine is bored and is now one with the pace car.
Yeah.
It is a 1-2-3 for one sim, by the way, for what will be about a 7-lap dash here in this stage.
That's what I was wondering. I was wondering if it was going to be 6 or 5.
It's going to be about 7.
So.
We're at 1 to green. Mark Arthur, Larry Bell, Dustin Payne, Tanner Marr, Mike Massengill. Amongst those lengthy times down pit road, Bell and Marr are out of the race. Hadley has returned to the race with more than 3 minutes damage. Drivers like Lagoons and Moresco maintain their cars despite significant damage. Brian Zimmerman also is in that boat. Remember, in this series, no fast repairs.
That actually helps Hadley out because now he's going to finish, I believe, 18th instead of 20th?
Possibly up to 19th. We'll have to see.
19th.
But there's still plenty of laps to go and plenty of incidents that can spark up here. And we might see some wildness pop up here. So our first caution for incident comes from technical causing it. Levine, Edstrom, Jackson, Perkins are your top 4 for the upcoming restart here in this one. Green flag is out. We're back underway. Edstrom got the better start actually on the high side with the count. Levine still got the short distance and the drafting partner to dance with.
Yeah, Levine using Jackson to help him, but now he's going to shoot up the track and cut off Edstrom's draft. And, I mean, it's a shootout to the line right here, Justin.
Coming up now, this time to 6 laps to go in the stage. Edstrom trying to run the high side. Inside for Levine, battling it out amongst teammates to try and win this stage. Oh, and some close calls right now with the side trap. Jackson really all with a 5 machine. The outside still getting runs despite Perkins really backing up from Edstrom.
Yeah, Perkins really trying to back up to the back of Brian Dees now. And now Perkins is trying to push the envelope and try to go 3 wide. Oh, man, what a save.
That was a bit of a rough bump there. Fiend holds on to it. Now they're leaning on each other a little bit.
Oh, man.
Your contact is, here comes the push now.
Yeah, big shots coming from Jackson and Perkins to Edstrom and Levine. Trevor Harmon trying to get to the back of Colby Jackson, while Brian Dees is able to stay and give Perkins some help. And now Perkins is thinking about pushing the envelope and going to the high side as Edstrom's trying to drop down to the bottom and block Levine.
Will Perkins try and ditch him and go for the win in the stage? Coming up to 3 laps to work with. Not clear yet. Edstrom does move down in front and join his teammates. Oh, and a bit of a checkup. Push 3 wide. Up the middle. Now comes Trevor Harmon. Harmon trying to clear around Jackson. Now pushes Dees all the way up to the 3rd line, and this destroys the momentum for the middle.
Yeah, but look at Ty Marasco get a big shot from Chris Carroll, giving Marasco a shot. That's going to allow, if he can get up to Perkins, Harmon might be able to push Perkins to the lead.
He's going to try it. 2 to go. Pit road closed.
Wow, look at the run he got.
The Team 5 Motorsports car Team 5's been very quiet all night as a unit. Jackson goes to the middle, 3 wide again. He swings over, nearly into Brasco.
Wow.
Oh, and now Marasco's trying to try it himself.
Oh, man.
1 to go in stage 2.
Now, Harmon, he said.
Harmon backed out. Levine's going for the lead. Edstrom trying to block all his teammates. Jackson 3 wide. Jackson now tries to squeeze. A turn on Carroll. Carroll gets turned for the caution. And Trevor Harmon, the Munsters who lock it up. It's Austin Edstrom, Levine, Jackson, Marasco, Perkins, Dees, Moody, Bruden, and Gibson, along with Wellman, in the top 10 of the time of caution.
Wow.
It got intense very quick.
Yeah, it did. Oh, man. Trevor Harmon, he was saying he was in that sucker hole, but he said, y'all ain't going to get me in here. I'm dropping down to the bottom. I ain't going to the back.
See right there, Trevor Harmon kicks out after contact with Carroll's fender after he turning around the 97. This, see pit stop says they're going to have to clear some penalties possibly. You see that right there. They did come down pit road and should clear it here. You see a lot of people are having the same issue.
Wow.
Moving the wheel around as I'm not sure what's going on with Austin Edstrom here. I think he might have damage because he's getting repairs done and sitting there.
I was about to say, does he have a loose wheel?
I don't think it's a loose wheel. I think he's just moving around bored. Kyle Wellman is the first one to exit. He took a 6-second pit stop. Remember, I believe was one of those, yes he was, that had an extra stop. So he elects to come down for a quickie. Cody Gibson also is the same. Kobe Jackson will come down again. So this will bring us to about, by the time we get back going, 113 laps to go here. An interesting night so far. Chris Carroll is getting the call to caution from Thomas Freitas from race control. And it looks like Dalton Kilroe has returned to the race. After all the technical issues, he is back, and he's already picked up an oil penalty. He's 80 laps down, so he's sorted out the technical gremlins with the internet at least to try and score some points here. Carroll does get the EOL. Now the rest of the drivers who pit, we're gonna have to sort out some penalty stuff here. Levine, bunch of those are just peeled down for a top off, by the way. So some of the drivers thinking about fuel mileage. So it's going to be Wellman, Gibson, Dees, Perkins, Zimmerman, Moody, Bruden, Butcher Benjamin, Edstrom, and Carroll. This was at the time of caution. For those wondering, that's the difference. To try and win the stage, Marasco barely got the edge to be able to get fourth for stage number 2.
That's close.
Very close. And now we're going to have some fun here for the next while. Because now we extend the runs and now we have to think about green flag stops, potentially. 113 to go in the race. Sun is now turning orange. What are you orange you'd like to say? I'm not sure where the pun is going. Green flag is out. Let's take a look at the green. So after that word salad, the green flag sees the field rumble its way through.
Yeah, and we see Kyle Wellman get a big shot from John Perkins. Brian Dees trying to get to the back of Cody Gibson. And now, this is how we started this race with the front row, Justin.
Yeah, nicely done for Gibson. As we continue to see these drivers try and fare things out. Trevor Harmon, Dustin Pinamont, those absurd penalties. Now, everybody else has that penalties cleared from what it looks like for the race control. Trevor Harmon and Dustin Payne have finished off some repairs. So, rest of the field will battle it out. There's a look at those coming off pit road from damage repairs and services to the respective cars. So there's going to be a lot of lappers to deal with here, likely, here in stage number 3 as the rest of the field tries to sort itself out.
Yeah, there definitely is. And look who's in here.
Yes, Dalton Kilrow making a return to the race, as we just said earlier. No chance on getting a great finish, but he can pass at least 3 cars for some points here and at least not finish dead last in this race.
Yeah, can definitely build on that points lead, you know, and come out. I mean, it's going to be close when this race gets over, but I mean, every little bit counts, so this could be a championship-winning move. You never know, coming back out here and running these laps.
Is going to maintain himself at the back of the group, you'd have to think. He's paced himself. He's one of now going to be out of this field 7 lappers, including DNFs right now, 5 lappers running. Each should say, including DNFs. But the lights now have turned on here at Echo Park Speedway. See that difference now to the pavement, a little bit more of a darker sheen for now. It's going to turn a lot more visible as the night goes on to be able to add that visibility for these drivers to see. Cody Gibson is the one who leads, by the way. Kyle Wellman over Brian Zimmerman. For the time being, looking already a lot more patient to start stage 3.
Yeah, looking a lot more patient. But the good thing about this track is, as the sun sets, the lap times are going to get faster. The tires are going to cool off, and it's not going to be. There's probably not going to be that much fall off. And this aero, the draft is really going to come into play for sure. Oh, more humidity.
Yeah, a little bit more humid. It started at 34%. That's going to impact some of the engine temps a little bit, actually, for some of the ability to push. Right now, not too many pushers right now, but Perkins is the one who gets to lead the race for the time being. And now Brian Dees will try it instead. Dees getting an edge. Now to the point in the 17 for now with the edge.
Yeah, Brian Dees using that high side with drafting help from Chris Carroll. Tom Marasco right up there. Chris Carroll, who, you know, had won stage 1 and thought he had to serve a black flag, and when he was coming down, they waved it off. So he got shoveled up, got spun out after that after the second stage, and he finds himself right back up here, Justin.
This is going to be a chess match now for the next long while. Oh, we have some trouble. Someone down on the apron and coming back into traffic. Ty Molasco, Kobe Jackson around. Still no caution as Jackson spins into traffic for the yellow flag.
I was about to say, they better throw that yellow because, yeah, that's dangerous up there.
Got very chaotic very quickly all of a sudden. Down there was Kyle Wellman also. That was after Wellman had made contact with Marasco down the front straight away with the dooring. Then they make contact again into one.
And Marasco almost saved this. Actually, he did save it, Justin, so
Yeah.
great job for Ty Marasco.
Still a lot of damage, but pit stop time. Field's coming down. And we'll take a look at this from the 27. Lagoons. Right there, had to move up. He was either hit one car or hit the side of another.
Yeah. He was caught between a rock and a hard place for sure.
So everybody essentially coming on down. This is important for the fuel mileage here, hence why everybody is coming down like this. It's going to be an interesting race now for the mileage the rest of the way here, though, Emmett.
Yeah, definitely. This is getting every crew chief. They're getting their calculators out, trying to see how many laps they can go. I think some guys are going to try to push it to 2, but I think you need about 3 to make it. Wouldn't you say, Jeff?
We also just heard that one driver did reel down pit road, Dustin kill roll, but did not stop. So that's why he is out in front of everybody. So wave around situation possibly for the 41 maybe.
Wow. He just needs 79 more of those, and he'll be back on the lead lap.
If we have 79 caution flags, he's not going to have enough caution laps to get the laps back.
Yeah, he's not. Can you imagine?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I think we'd call it if there was 79 cautions.
So we'll see what happens now as there is the wave around for Kilrow. Wellman amongst those who have peeled down pit road again for a top off with Bruton and Jackson. Dees is the control car for the restart. Perkins, Carroll, Levine, Edstrom, Zimmerman. Your top 6. Yoel went the way of the 1 you were saying.
Dustin Pink still on pit road trying to get that damage fixed.
Yeah, right now, it's one of the many that have had lots of rough luck all evening long here in this race.
He was running up in the top 5 at the first part of this first stage.
He was, but now everybody is running on your top offs or 2 tires. Tire sets have not really been a focal point here tonight. There was only 4 of them available at the pit road tonight after all. But it's time to go back racing. Green flag is out. We're backing away. Brian Dees with a good launch, and someone got turned.
Oh, man.
Someone in the infield, and it is Kyle Wellman.
Wow.
And he is now taking the Legends Oval.
Yeah, your pole sitter, Kyle Wellman, getting turned. We'll have to take a look and see what happened.
Another stack of, and that's broken up the pack. He had Kobe Jackson behind him at the time of that turnaround. And Testy flavors here. Let's take a look.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Jackson thought they were going.
Yeah.
And that's why there was that situation there. Now, looks like one sim working on the high side. Perkins going to work on the inside.
Big blink from Austin Edstrom right there, Justin. What's it? Bang!
Yeah, gassed it up thinking they were going with the small little motion in front. They were not going yet. Still though, now how do you play this? What would be your strategy here, knowing you've got 1 or 2 pit stops to think about here, Emmett? What's kind of your play here?
Well, first off, I'm getting out of the chaos. I think I'm dropping back so that I'm out of the chaos, because I don't think we're done seeing the cautions fly. But also on strategy, I may come in for 2 tires, but that's as much tires as I'm going to put on. But fuel-wise, I think I may try to short pit it and just top off after filling it up. You know, if they get a caution, just short pit, top off, and then you're good to go to the distance.
Well, we'll see where they really get the planning going here at this point. Still 96 coming to 95 laps to go here from Echo Park. Some of these drivers starting to get more and more technical blips as this race goes on here. They're going to have to be very careful if there's any issues. TBB is amongst those who's losing the draft, who's halves that. Chris Carroll's got damage on the 97 car. It's not holding him back though for the race lead. He's able to get the edge. He's only led 5 times around here tonight. Now he's going to have the chance to lead even more after getting the edge of the stripe last time by.
Yeah, so that makes me think that if the lead car gets put in clean air, then, I mean, we're seeing a damaged car, you know, and he's not having any aero trouble, really. So that lets me know that if I get in clean air, I should be good to keep it out front for sure.
Air run being built up by Levine, but these runs going to go back and forth as the race goes on here. Still very early in the stints, to say the very least. Dustin Payne is officially gone from the race. He is done for the night. As now, this lead pack just 8 cars deep. TBB, Jackson, Marasco, Bruden, Lagoons have all lost the draft, as well as Kyle Wellman for various reasons. You see the 10 with the technical issues just letting everybody go.
Yeah, definitely.
Right now, the question is going to be, how will that damage impact Carroll's chances winning the race later? Because it seems like he's still a good car to push, but that damage is going to make it very hard for people to want to work with them, because here's the proof of the pudding. Edstrom wants to go in front of him, and no one wants to join Edstrom.
Yeah, Edstrom tried to use the side draft right there, and now with Moody pushing Chris Carroll, and now Cody Gibson joins the picture, you know, if they get hooked up, as we see John Perkins in the Love's travel stop machine try to slide up in front of Carroll to anticipating that draft, and he's actually going to get Perkins to the lead. Carroll is, and that's the thing about the draft. It's all about, you know, when you see a window, take it. When there's no window, don't take it.
Yeah, right now, seeing Perkins just trying to find a way to dominate. Not one driver has really controlled this race per se. Edstrom's led the most laps tonight, by the way. But it really has come down to who's the one most comfortable. 3 wide again. Moody this time, trying to shuffle Carroll. Now Levine's trying to go for the lead. Yet again, switching inside, outside, inside. And Levine does take the point. Carroll elects to go to the inside for safety.
Yeah, now we see Brian Dees try to get to the back of Carroll to give Levine a big shot right here. And now Dees is actually backing up to Zimmerman. For Zimmerman to give, you think about a train, you think about you got the lead engine, and then in the back you got the caboose. Well, the caboose is trying to give him a push as an accordion effect to get Levine out in front several car up.
Lap car ahead. Kyle Wellman at risk of being lapped now. Needs a caution right this split second after his incident on the restart. Don't think he's going to get that. He'll be the only driver one lap down essentially in this race. So he'll need a caution flag to have a chance. There he goes to the apron. No issues as the field says thank you very much for moving. So now what's the game plan, or rather what goes through your mind at this point, Emmett, in this type of race now, knowing you've got a pack that likes to go back and forth, but you also have an 8-car breakaway that's now closed back up to 13 with the checkups.
Yeah, those cars lifting really help these guys catch up to this pack. And we take a good shot at Mark Arthur with the green flag TV on the spoiler. Great looking shot. But, yeah, it's all about being able, like I said, if there's a window, take it because it's going to close real quick. So you got to make your moves and you got to make them fast or you're going to end up, causing the big one, and nobody wants that for sure.
Yeah, some 3 wide yet again. Zimmerman forced up this time. And look at this from those who enter from the second pack. Kobe Jackson with a stellar run through the pack. Just speeded his way to the inside. 3 wide for the race lead. And right to the teamwork he goes. Jackson goes right to Edstrom. And that kind of showcases just how big some of these checkups have been with this pack not working together here. And now you have all these massive runs from some of these drivers.
Yeah, Perkins is trying to find his teammate of Mark Arthur, and I bet you Mark Arthur is coming on the radio telling John, saying, help is on the way, just stay right there until I get, oh man, car in the wall.
It's Marasco. Marasco's lost the front clip. Hard contact to the wall. We have no caution though. Still green, and that is going to be Marasco's race.
Yeah, it looks like the right front suspension is definitely broke. Definitely can't turn that car for sure.
Now we're right to the safety pit road. Let's take a look. He just didn't turn. Something happened to Marasco. And steering was not moving. Nothing. Nothing.
His controller must have died. That's what I was thinking, Justin.
Confusing to say the least, but we continue on here. Jackson is now the race leader. One sim, you can argue that as a team they've done a good job controlling things. Now all 3 of their cars have led laps tonight, Emmett.
Yeah, and they've been, they've been in the back, they've been to the front, they've been in the middle, they've been a big roller coaster, but now they find themselves in this final stage running 1, 2, 3, so great job from one sim for sure.
And now we'll see where patience brings many of these drivers. We're 20 laps into the run. Stages were 40, remember. Still have to run 2 times that run to go in this race alone. And so What do you talk about with teammates, if you talk about anything at all during a race at this point here on the super speedway? What would you be talking about if you were on the radio?
I'd just be talking about, hey, let's just play follow the leader. You know, we'll switch it up. You know, and we'll start really going at it when we got 10 to go, and or even less, 5 to go, is when I think a lot of these teams are going to get really aggressive about their moves so that they can possibly get this win tonight.
Yeah, right now, Trevor Harmon falling the lap down. Edstrom trying to find some ground back with Carroll. And that's the thing about this type of racetrack is so many ebbs and flows here tonight in terms of these packs. Not one driver's control things. How do you try and harness control to make sure you can keep things in your control when the time is right in this pack of this race?
Well, like I said, communication is key. You know, that's going to be the big thing. Also, it's just going to be about don't take your moves too late. When you see the opportunity, go for it. Otherwise, it's going to close and you're going to wad up the field for sure.
Yeah, right now, everybody just maintaining for the time being. It's got to be the goal. With 77 laps still to go and full darkness now all over the speedway. We've already passed 9 o'clock in sim time. That's how this race has flown on by. Temperatures expected to continue to drop. Track temperature still at 90 degrees. Humidity is rising though. That is why the air temp is still staying where it's at for the most part.
Don't look now, Justin, but two dudes racing. They've hooked up. And they're working hard together, trying to get around Edstrom and get up to this lead path, the leaders. Well, they were hooked up, not anymore, I guess.
Yes. Yeah, not one thing really staying stable here in these lines. Let's follow on board with the 33. Your thoughts on John Perkins' night, where he's led a few times?
Yeah, John Perkins has done a great job. Really been the key spotlight for two dudes racing. You know, he's really ran good. You know, like you said, led a lot. Only got spun out under caution, but has really rebounded and hasn't looked bad at all as the nights went on. So he's had a great race tonight, Justin, for sure.
Right now, let's try to sort things out. See how big the checkups are getting at the bottom of the racetrack. A bit of a crash. Zimmerman, Dees, Perkins, Edstrom, all in the wall. Arthur again in it. Caution flag is out.
It's the broadcaster curse. We were just talking about how good Perkins has done and gets caught up in a late race caution.
Push from Edstrom. Sees Dees into Zimmerman. And everybody destroyed all over the racetrack.
Tell you, I got to give it to our producer, Mr. Dustin Ollis, for that camera view right there, because, I mean, we were riding. I mean, they were basically in our living room when we saw them come up on the track.
Yeah, some hard contact for a lot of drivers there. That we'll see some pit road for a long time. Lagoons, Perkins, Edstrom. And now this will see a lot of people to pit road. Brian Dees, you can throw into that mix here too. He's got the same situation Edstrom had previously. So Kobe Jackson, he's amongst the first to come down pit road here. They are really spread out as a result of the Ensign being at the heart of the pack, though, here in this one. So it still, in theory, is a one-stopper to the end here.
Yeah. Unless we go, you know, oh man. Bang!
Mark Arthur's race is likely going to be done from a second hard hit of the night.
That car, he was up on 2 wheels, Justin. God, Brian D's hard shot it to the driver's side.
Shockingly, Arthur doesn't have a meatball flag, but he did jump out of the car. Dees doesn't have a meatball flag either.
Yeah, Brian Dees took 2 big shots from when his car finally rested. I hope he's okay after that contact right there, because that looked very violent right there.
So we get ready for a restart soon, as Wellman will take a wave. Mind you, this is now him up to 9th with so many cars down pit road with that crash. We are running out of race cars here. Let's put it that way. Not too many cars left. We have 70 laps to go.
Wow. I just want to add, Justin, that Jess Headley has pulled off the track. So, you know, we were talking about could get a good finish out of this. Well, that's not going to happen.
No. There are 9 cars plus 2 lap cars left out of a possible 22. So half the field is done, or in the pit road right now, getting repairs done.
Yeah, one of those cars is what, 70 plus laps down?
79.
Wow.
Trevor Harmon did enter the racetrack again, though, so it's up to 12 again. But some of those involved are officially done. Marasco's done. Lagoon seems to be done as well. So a 69 lap to go mark coming up when the green flag flies. Get the field all sorted here and ready to rumble. Green flag is back out and we're back to racing. Good start for Jackson. Gibson clears on by for second. Levine selects to go to the bottom. How does this race now, with the field being the size it is here on the lead lap, how do you think they're going to race here?
Well, I don't think it's going to make them any more patient. I think it's going to be amped up, and we're still going to see some hard racing from these guys, giving 110% till we see that checker flag.
Yeah, right now, a lot for these drivers to think about. Right now, the run for the lead is on for Carroll. He's got Taylor Butcher Benjamin. Going to have to be careful his connection situation tonight, but it's going to be Carroll for now, who does get the assistance and does get the boost up to the lead. TBB now trying to take it himself. For the most part, out of those remaining, all but 3, make it 5, have yet to lead. So far, Carroll's led 11, TBB has led 14, Moody's led 6, Jackson 15, Gibson 7, Levine 12, Wellman 3 out of those on the lead lap. So a lot of drivers have gotten the chance to at least lead here with the back and forth affair.
Yeah, there's been a lot of lead changes. As we see right here, TBB trying to get around Chris Carroll for the lead. I don't think he has enough. There's drag racing, but Nicholas Moody just needs to give TBB a shot right here to push into the lead for sure.
Yeah, right now, let's see what TBB tries to clear. No opportunity quite yet. As Carroll wraps the bottom of the racetrack. So now, it's going to be so critical for many of these drivers to start plotting and planning the strategy. Remember, you burn more fuel by leading in front of the rest of the field here, Emmett.
Yeah, the thing about the draft, you know, you can have somebody just pull you around and you can drag the brake and just be pulled around the track and save a lot of fuel. And that's what I think, if you're the leader, that's what you're wishing you could do. You're wishing that you could just drop down and let somebody else lead and get behind them and try to save fuel from just being pulled around the track by that the lead car.
Right now the run from Butcher Benjamin, what he's able to do. Carroll, no place to be able to go anywhere. He has fixed the car for the most part, by the way. So the rear end is no longer damaged on that 97 machine. 62 coming up, laps to go in this run. Still the fastest lap of the race for those wondering when to Perkins. Not expecting the fast lap to be decimated here as the pack has been reduced dramatically here at Echo Park. But overall, a wild night, to say the very least, here in this one. And for some like Mark Arthur, got to be back to the drawing board. He's already mentioned that he's planning to miss the next 2 weeks already. So it was not his night.
Yeah, and this is going to hit the team points dramatically as well, as two dudes was the leader, but I don't think they'll leave with the points lead after tonight, Justin.
A lot of fuel-saving attempts here from Kyle Wellman, by the way. Trying to manage the throttle right now at this point. Try and stretch the run as far as possible. Remember, he has 30 laps difference compared to everybody else with some of the clutching going on.
Wow. Maybe he comes in under caution, just a short pit. I mean, comes in with, if we get a caution, and just top off. Maybe.
Well, they'd all have to fill up regardless. But he is trying to stretch to make sure, I think, he gets that fuel mark. He is going to be close to that estimated window here with less than 60 to go. Carroll is the leader now. Dalton Kilroe has migrated up towards the front of the field here. Right now it's in position to be able to work with the 97 for the time being. Dalton Kilroe at this point out here just to have fun and race. Oh, and the 42 is pitting this time. Wellman says he cannot go any further. He is coming on down. Here he goes.
So that's interesting, because now that he's running out, how long before we see the field come in?
Well, he made it 44 laps.
Whoa.
As he nearly spins it. Good save. But if the rest of the field can only go about 40, 44 laps here, or 44 is the top of the mark, let's do the math. There are 14, 15 laps into runs now. It'd be 30 laps from now. So that would be about 26-ish laps to go when you would see pit stops if we were to keep going. So at this point, there's still a lot of laps before the fuel becomes the massive concern. At this rate, you're still about now 12 laps away from the green light on fuel, 12 to 16 laps. So a lot of gamesmanship and a lot of planning right now for a lot of these competitors here. So Nicholas Mooney running second. Doesn't want to run behind a lap car. Doesn't like the outside line. A lot of these drivers try to go single file at this point here, Evan, just to save.
Yeah, trying to go single file. Seem a little fan out with TBB and William Bruton, who we haven't talked about much today, Justin.
Yeah. So far, it's been relatively calm for a super speedway race. We've had some big incidents, yeah, but the in-between points of that, it's been just calm. What else can you say? Sometimes it's like running with the waterfall.
Or this could be the calm before the storm.
Don't jinx it like that. So we'll see. Now, keep an eye on Bruton. Remember, Bruton bounced off that outside wall a couple times earlier tonight. 83 machine. Not bad, up to second again.
Gibson's not saving for sure. He's running full throttle.
Yeah, he's just out there to have fun. Just wants to lead. Kilroy's been a really good pusher here, though.
Yeah, he really has, and it was a tough break that he couldn't enter this race because, I mean, we're seeing how he's running. He could have had a car to possibly win this thing.
Right now, field is just trying to sort things out. Under 50 laps to go here at Echo Park Speedway. Kilroy is still trying to figure out what he wants to do. He did now get in a position here to pass somebody next time by, Jess Hadley. He's about to make a pass. He's also about to pass Tanner Moore and Larry Bell. So, at this rate, the highest he can get by the end of this race, if the math is correct, is about 17th, 18th position maybe.
Kilroy doing a great job helping Chris Carroll out.
Yeah, right now, just trying to sort out themselves. See that right now with Trevor Harmon way up the racetrack. Some of these drivers who are laps down just trying to run their lines. A lot of these drivers are electing to run the middle of the racetrack now, not the bottom, surprisingly, here on it.
Yeah, it's definitely been interesting. You know, we get a lot of guys trying to save fuel. Look at Mark Arthur up on that high side.
Yeah, so far it's been tricky for a lot of these drivers. Gibson got shuffled, now TBB getting shuffled. I think this is just the nature of what the tires want to run, because that drift up effect that we get from the bottom of the racetrack.
Yeah, definitely.
How difficult, in your opinion, do you feel the car getting at this point of the run after running so long in terms of the racing, but also having the tires being such a factor here at Echo Park?
Well, I think you start thinking about the little things, the little gremlins that could come out, and then you start worrying about, how much fuel we got. I mean, I don't think you think about the big things. You start fretting about the little things, and that causes you to panic, and when you panic, you could wad up the field. So definitely got to stay sharp competitively for sure.
It's going to be the main focal point for a lot of drivers, is being able to maintain focus, maintain effort with this type of racing. For those wondering, by the way, Green Flag TV also having coverage tonight of For the Boys Racing League. For those curious, Dylan Basin leading that league. Right now, Aaron Smith II. The lead in that race at Chicagoland for their 250-mile event, well, is more than 1 second. Be sure to catch that on the split screen to be able to keep an eye on the action as multiple races go on here on the network here tonight. You're on Green Flag TV. It looks like Kyle Wellman about to be lapped here after his early pit stop. Not looking good for his race at all, because now he is 2 laps down. He's looking to stay in front of some drivers here, but it's not looking great for the 42.
Yeah, not looking good at all. Had such high hopes after starting on the pole.
I thought he was looking really good early on, but then everything just seemed to have now spiraled on strategy. Oh, and some people on the apron again. Now it's Dees this time after his significant repairs. 24 laps down. He stays out of everybody's way.
Yeah, there was a big checkup right there because I saw the puff of smoke.
Chris Carroll has been now looking in command here, though. Can he keep it up is the huge question. We are closely approaching that window on pit stops. We're less than about 15 laps away from the peel-in point, Emmett.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting if he can keep these cars at bay and get a good stop, because they're all going to come in at once. Like I said, communication is key so that we don't have a big old wad up on pit road.
Right now, he seems very comfortable with who he's working with in kill row in the lineup. Nicholas Moody would be an upset, to say the very least, because that Blackhawk machine has not been a contender for wins really all season. Tonight, though, has been so different, but he's been able to keep it clean, stay out of trouble. Sometimes keeping it clean to be able to give you there at the right time is more important than anything else.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, when you asked me, you said, who do you see winning this thing? I said, anybody can win it. And what a moment it would be if Nicholas Moody was able to get this win, and such a huge accomplishment for the Sheriff's Department and everything.
A huge opportunity, of course. Clark County Sheriff's Department is what the logo is on his car. Surprisingly, Mark Arthur still running after all the contact. He was out of the car for a little while. Now Arthur who is 21 laps down, might get the chance to lead the pack here. Wellman trying to get one of his laps back with him. Oh, in contact. Arthur nearly got pushed up into kill row. 3 of the lap cars nearly crashed.
Wow.
That was not good, to say the least. And right now, this is seeing the pack break up. This pack is starting to splinter a little bit here all of a sudden, with Bruden on back, almost 1 second back. Most of the lappers are starting to cause a breakaway here. As we take a look at what happened, you see that little bump right there. So the pack now single files out for now. Kobe Jackson, Justin Levine just went down pit road. One sim electing to go in early. Will this work out? Only 2 cars in their pack though, Emmett.
Yeah. That's going to be tough for sure. As we come to the halfway point of this run, Justin, it'll be interesting to see who comes and who doesn't, and if they come and it's how many cars come with them, or if they're a single car coming down pit road for sure.
Yeah, right now, this is now to where William Bruden just picked up a meatball flag. What happened to Bruden?
What happened? Because he was running up in the top 5.
He was losing ground, and he has hit the wall. I can tell you this. It was a teammate, Friendly Fire, that caused the broken axle. Yeah.
Yeah, watch right here. Trevor Harmon. Oh, man.
Yeah, they were not lined up flush.
Dang.
That destroys Bruden's race right there. Yeah, not even lined up, not even close.
Yeah, knocked the clip off too. So it's Moody.
He's now the leader. Kilrow in front. Really see how long these tanks can go. We're coming up to 30 laps to go. It's Moody and a bunch of lap cars. Only Taylor Butcher Benjamin is left in the lead pack out of those that are having a chance to battle, because Chris Carroll and Kobe Gibson, I should say, have picked up their pit stops here. So they're in for service. That's only at 40 laps into the run even.
Yeah, now I'm trying to see where Colby Jackson and Justin Levine are, because those are the first 2 cars that hit pit road, and they're trying to get hooked up to catch this pack for sure.
Darrell Butcher Benjamin now took the lead. Right now, it's Gibson, Jackson, and Levine who are going to be grouped together. Hello. They drive around the 7. Speed still there. These drivers are actually half a second quicker than the race leaders right now.
Yeah, one sim is really got the teamwork going and the team strategy going, coming in earlier than anybody else. It may come back to bite them, but it'll be interesting to see if this will help them or if it's going to hurt them for sure. Ooh, TBB.
A little bit too far. He went deep into the pit stall. And the pit window now sees just about everyone now have completed service. This is going to be for the lead. Nicholas Moody. It's already just exited pit road, side by side with Butcher Benjamin. They can't sort themselves out yet. And to the lead, Kobe Jackson. The temper is starting to flare out as a result of that exit, but the top two who went for an early call make it work. Chris Carroll now cycles ahead as he works with Brian Dees, and now this is where the tandem drafting theory comes into play here, Emmett. This is really where that example comes true.
I was just about to say that, Justin. I was about to say, well, now we're going tandem drafting. We've done pack drafting the whole race, did pack racing. So now we're doing the 2-car tandem. So, very interesting.
They should close up in theory, but it's going to be almost 4 seconds they have to close up. So it's going to require a lot of gamesmanship by this entire pack, especially with how well Jackson and Levine are working together as one, with 27 laps to go.
So they came in, what, 5 laps before anybody else?
4.
4 laps? So they should be able to make it. Wouldn't you think so?
They should be fine. They should be well fine. But I mean, they've been maintaining a lot of speed in the corners, having to drop below 170 miles an hour in said corners. They're looking really good right now. The most the R-Pack's done is maintain, if not gain a couple tenths of a second. They're going to have to work hard and work hard fast if they want to rapidly gain here, despite having more cars, more energy to spread apart.
Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking for sure. But since they can make it, let me ask you this. If you're Justin Levine, do you push Colby Jackson to the win, or do you try to push it on the last lap and try to go three in a row?
2 in a row in this case.
Yeah,
so.
2.
Yeah, I was about to say. It really comes down to what they want to do and how big the advantage is. They also have a lap car and Kyle Wellman in that lead pack that's disrupting things. So let's put it this way. Single file line going to work faster. Lead pack with lap cars going 2 by 2 on you. That's going to hold things up. Since they started side by side, they've lost 4, 5, 6 tenths of a second.
Wow, that is huge. And now look at this. Levine is pushing Jackson as they pull alongside of Arthur and Wellman. Now they're just going to let them go ahead. Man, this might be Colby Jackson's race right here. Who knows?
Now the lap cars get the chance to lead the pack. And now the changing of the tides is here. Turns the momentum. 2.5 seconds the gap between first and third. Almost 2 seconds plus needed to be able to close up and make things really interesting. Keep in mind, Chris Carroll is working behind Brian Dees right now. They can see them on the same straightaway, but they aren't really closing right now to this group with 22 to go.
Yeah, just not getting enough momentum to catch up to Levine and Jackson, as it's grown to a 2.7 second gap between those two. So
they're starting to gain time again. This pack is, the lead pack is, this group started to lose ground. They were starting to rapidly gain when they were side by side up in front. Now that single filed out, the times go in the opposite direction. They were already talking to the radio before. Are you having a clean car? Do you have no damage? The Soul Stealer has no damage right now, but they aren't able to close up. They're working so hard. Eventually, Carroll is going to have to back off here with the pushes.
yeah, especially in the corner, he's going to end up wadding them all up, and nobody's going to be able to catch Jackson and Levine then. Because if that happens, they'll lap the whole entire field, won't they?
Well, there's so many lap cars at this point. There's only 6 on the lead lap.
Wow.
See right there, this lead group. They're trying to make sure Kyle Wellman knows what to do as the lead car, and they are closing up to more cars. Massengill and Harmon are just up the road from these drivers, and that's going to potentially impact how much speed they have in a moment.
Yeah. Let's see if they'll pick them up, and this train will grow. I don't think Jackson needs to push the envelope. I think he just needs to ride around behind the 12 because, I mean, they still got a 2 point almost, well, it's shrinking, 2.6 second gap on Chris Carroll.
2.7.
Oh, whoa.
Oh, some of the other lappers went 2 and 3 wide, but the lead cars were able to slip through. They actually gained time from that sequence because of the slipstream factor. And now that air pack's going to have to deal with them the exact same way again.
Great shot showing just how far the gap is.
You see them now picking up a fair bit of speed off Massengill this time. But they just lost it yet again, trying to run the high side to be able to rip the top, get around the lap car, work from there. Now they are trying to shuffle down and collect the 20 with them. It's not working out for the full pack here. TBB took a few moments to be able to blend on down. 15 to go at the stripe. Coming around now to 14, I should say, at the stripe. The 15 is for the lap cars in front of the leaders.
Yeah, and this lead pack is Levine and Jackson have just done a great job just riding in the sandwich in the middle and just, you know, keeping it clean, not trying to push the envelope, not trying to put them multiple laps down as they already are, but they're doing a great job just riding around and playing follow the leader for sure.
Now, it's going to be a math equation for a lot of these drivers here. 12 laps to go. Some bit close on fuel. Now, things are getting tight. Under 2 seconds. Hearing Brian Dees may have to pit in 6 laps. So they are, yes, they aren't going to be able to make it. So the 17 will have to peel down. Passing in the lead group. This is going to see a change. They built some buffer cars between them. Levine is getting raced by the lap cars.
Yeah, Levine's trying to shoot up high. He thought he had enough momentum to somebody's going to go with him. As we see Kyle Wellman, Levine could use Wellman as a pick and get around Colby Jackson right here.
Wellman and the rest of these drivers in this pack, none of them are fighting for position. Now Levine able to work in front, and here we go. The packs have emerged together.
Wow.
Coming to 10 laps to go.
Talk about some great racing, some great not giving up, you know, staying in it until you see the end. And Brian D's going to go up to the top. Now we got Cody Gibson up on the back of Carroll. And Carroll could try to push the envelope right here and try to get this win.
Trying to block things off. Here comes Carroll.
Here
Into the side of Woolman goes Jackson. Woolman is pushed out of the way. He blends back up on the racetrack. Now Carroll is up top working with Gibson. Coming to 9 to go.
Moody needs to get to the back of Gibson right here, Justin, so that they get enough momentum and have TBB pushing Moody and do that accordion effect down the backstretch, and that'll give Carroll a shot.
Wellman now pushing Jackson. Triple cartan over the bottom.
Wow.
Wellman is really pushing. He's now trying to make another pass. Wellman, again, is 2 laps down. Now he blends in front of a teammate. That's partly why. 5 Kings Motorsports machine. Wellman in front of Carroll. Levine looks to block off. Now Levine has to block Carroll. Levine gets damage from it. Levine's got significant right side damage as Carroll goes to the outside.
Yeah, and look at this, Carroll. Oh, man, Cody Gibson hit the wall right there. That's going to hurt the energy from that top side. But look at Justin Levine drop to the outside, trying to get help from Mark Arthur, trying to get alongside to get the side draft with Colby Jackson.
7 laps to go. Levine now up to Wellman yet again. Now looking to regain the buffer. Mark Arthur being used as said buffer right now. What does Levine now do with the 12 all over the back bumper? Nowhere for Carroll to go. Carroll's thinking about the inside, doesn't take it.
He needs to take it right here if he wants a shot to win this race. Once he gets clear, once the spotter says clear, he needs to drop down and get the momentum from Wellman.
There's the momentum for Carroll, but Wellman's died off on the bottom significantly. That's destroyed Jackson's momentum as well.
Jackson out to dry.
Yeah, that middle of the racetrack's working again like it was early before. And now, 5 laps to go. Carroll peels off. Arthur hits the wall doing so. 3 wide. Here comes Butcher Benjamin. TBB up to second.
Where did he come from?
He's up front, but now he's going to try and find his way to the race lead. He's led 21 times tonight. Now, he looks for the edge in front of Levine. Carroll pushes the 5.
Yeah, and Colby Jackson's going to give a big shot to the 41 down the backstretch. That's going to give TBB the advantage. But look at Chris Carroll giving Justin Levine a big shot going into 3 and 4.
Lap traffic approaching. They'll have to find a way quickly around one of the lap cars. That lap car being Brian Zimmerman. Everybody else after that will have clean track. Levine peels in front of the 10. Carroll now has a chance to be unleashed. Levine blocks off the top again. Big push by Kilroe. Now Carroll pushes Levine again. Lap traffic on the bottom. They'll have to find space and fast. Butcher Benjamin peels up.
Gosh.
Zimmerman stays low and on the surface.
How did they not wreck right there? Oh my gosh.
They're trying it. Levine scraped the wall down. Now he goes even with Butcher Benjamin. Carroll trying to back up and build a run here. 2.5 laps to go from Echo Park.
Now what Carroll needs to do if he wants to win this race is follow Levine around until that last lap. And when they get down that backstretch, that's when he needs Gibson to give him a shot. And so he can get the slingshot and put himself in the chance to win.
It's getting very chippy. 2 laps to go here in what's been a busy time at Atlanta. Levine's got the edge. He's been working well with Carroll. Carroll down close to the outside. Levine forced to the bottom. Here comes Carroll. He's got a huge run. He's got Gibson to work with. Coming around this time, it's the final time. White flag is out. Last lap here from Echo Park. Levine goes to the high side to reset.
Look at Colby Jackson trying to push the issue right there. He's getting it.
Oh, these drivers are coiling up again. Carroll's trying to pick a line. He picks middle. Levine pushes him in the corner. 2 to 3 wide. Here we go. A drag race at the line. It's Levine.
3 in a row. Unbelievable.
Justin Levine is the one who picks up the win. He's able to get the edge after winning last time out with the race at Charlotte. An exciting finish.
Back to back to back. Goes to Kansas, wins. Comes to Charlotte, wins. And now wins at Atlanta. Unbelievable job for that 5 team.
See where that celebration now takes him. Gets to burn it on down after another win for One Sim here tonight. They've had speed all season. Look at this at the stripe. Chris Carroll got turned at the stripe, still got second.
That is crazy.
Let's take a look at the race results, unofficial. Levine gets the win over Carroll and Butcher Benjamin. 53 1/1000 of a seconds is the difference. Gibson and Jackson get the top 5. Moody, Wellman does finish 7, 2 laps down. Harmon in 8th, Zimmerman in 9th, and Massengill gets a top 10, 11 laps down.
Yeah, Mark Arthur finishes 11th, 21 laps down. 12th goes to Brian Dees, 24 laps down. 13th goes to William Bruden, 32 laps down. 14th goes to John Perkins, who had a tough break, 72 laps down. Austin Edstrom finishes in 15th, 73 laps down. 16th, Hunter Lagoons, 73 laps down. 17th was Dalton Kilrose, 79 laps down. And 18th was Ty Marasco, 83 laps down. And Dustin Ping finishes in 19th, 113 laps down. And Larry Bell finishes in 20th, 125 laps down. 21st goes to Tanner Marr, who finishes 126 laps down. And rounded out the field is going to be Jess Hadley, who finishes in 22nd, 129 laps down.
That's what we talked about at the Run Yard here tonight. After an exciting race here at Echo Park Speedway. Still waiting for drivers to make their way to virtual victory lane. One of the drivers standing on by is going to be with Emmett. Second place went to Chris Carroll. He's with Emmett Crow.
Chris Carroll, you got a copy?
I get a copy, Emmett.
All right, man. Talk about too little too late. I thought you had it there for a moment when you got that big push from Cody. What was going through your mind coming to that checker flag?
I was trying not to die. I knew there was about 10 lappers helping other guys out there, and it was me and Cody against the world. And we were just trying to hold the lane and not get wrecked there at the end. I'm not sure who or why all the lappers were in there, but I might know why, but I'm not going to say it.
All right, well, how do you build on this momentum going to Martinsville?
Well, Martinsville's a good track. I'm a short tracker, so that'll be a lot of fun. It's a good race out there tonight. It was fun at the end there. It was really crazy, and built some momentum. Someone mailed me a second place at this joint. I'd have taken it yesterday, and Cody got a good finish, and some of our guys got wrecked in that big one. So build some momentum towards Martinsville and try and just get to the chase there for the points.
All right, man. Well, we'll see. Is there anyone you'd like to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, I was going to thank Tanner Marr. He got me into these leagues here. Without him, I wouldn't be able to have all this fun on here. Going to thank USA Firearms, USAFirearms.com. Brian Zimmerman, if you need some firearms, you go see that man. He'll give you a deal. Super good dude. Powers all our cars here. Got to thank Cody for the help. Got to thank Dalton, actually, for the help tonight. And all my friends and family out there watching. Got to thank Hunter Lagunes for out there. He was trying to figure it out too. And all the boys we race with, we have fun here.
All right. Well, we'll see you next week at Martinsville. Congrats on the second place finish.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for the good broadcast you guys do.
All right. Thank you. Justin?
Chris Carroll able to get second. Now we've got the rest of our top 3 standing on by. Justin Levine is the one who gets the win. Justin, talk to us about those final laps as you had to slice and dice to get your way to the point.
A little frustrating, like I have no problem with lap cars racing us, but to be doored and held back so the pack gets there is a bit frustrating. Teammates, whatever. But we tried to race clean and fair, and I'm glad I still ended up on top because that's a bit of nonsense. But that battle at the end, that was awesome. I had to do everything in my might to try to get to Chris's outside, and that shove from Colby just sent me flying into turn 3, and I was able to shove him forward. And as soon as I got that side draft, I knew it was over. I didn't think it was going to be as far out that I got there. I thought it was going to be like a photo finish that like I barely got him, but I cleared them, I think, just about at the line.
Yeah, the end total was about 52 one-thousandths of a second or so at the stripe. It also seemed tonight the field had a bit of an antsiness to it. Why would you say that in terms of where there was a lot of back and forth and no one would just like wanting to just ride?
The cars are a little weird when we start pushing here. It might be set up. I honestly haven't ran anything but the fixed setup in these cars, but they're a little twitchy. Like if you start slightly getting offset, you can turn somebody and the run just dies if you're not perfectly lined up. So instead of trying to get the momentum back, people were just going to the bottom, top, wherever they had to go. But it made the racing a lot of fun. Definitely had a lot of comers and goers, and it made for a lot of passing for the lead, it felt like, tonight.
So that being said, the next race is going to be at the Paperclip Martinsville Speedway. Your thoughts on going to Martinsville?
Oh, everybody's going to be junked. I think Martinsville, we're going to see a lot of cautions and a lot of hurt feelings that are building up into a short track. So, front bumper is definitely going to be pushed in.
Any show that you'd like to give here tonight?
Shout out to you guys. Can't wait to go back and watch broadcasts. You guys do such a great job. Mark and all the admins that put this on for us. And, of course, all the viewers tuning in tonight. Can't thank them enough.
Congratulations on the win here tonight, Justin.
Thank you, Dustin. Have a good night.
Justin Levine gets the win. Taylor Butcher Benjamin gets third spot tonight. TVB, how would you describe your night here at Echo Park?
Well, Justin, pretty eventful. Obviously a lot of close quarters racing, and then I don't know what was going on with my internet the second half of that. I was concerned I would just had to ride in the back the whole rest of the race, and the wreck I evidently caused. I hate that my internet was a contributing factor in that, and it sucks that a bunch of people got taken out. But as far as the rest of the race, once we got thinned out to about a few cars, I was pondering whether or not, are we gonna have to pit under green? Because I expected kind of a wreck fest, but I didn't expect a wreck fest where it would be 6 cars on the lead lap and having to actually make a pit stop under green. But executed that okay, but then Colby and Justin got way out in front of us. But definitely got appreciate 2 of my teammates, even though they were laps down. Brian for being the leader of that pack and getting us up there to begin with, and then Dalton at the end. He had a sour night, but he was doing his best to try to push me to the win, even though he was, I don't even know how many laps down. And I know some people weren't too thrilled about it, but I appreciate his effort, and it was quite a finish, as you would imagine. My hands are pretty numb right now.
Overall, how would you describe the feel of this package in general when it comes to super speedways here at a track like Echo Park?
Well, I definitely was not expecting it to be so tight, on entry, a few, 20 laps in the run. And then when we get, you can really tell the difference when we get single file as opposed to side by side. When we get single file, you just gap everybody. But I expected I expected even more 3-wide actually than what we got. But even though we tore up quite a bit of cars tonight, and still think we raced each other pretty well.
Your thoughts on Martinsville next week?
I'm excited about that. I haven't tried it in this car yet, but I always enjoy Martinsville. It's, I guess, technically a home track. I'm in Pennsylvania, and Virginia's not that far from me. So, and my record here is pretty solid, so looking forward to it.
Any shout out you'd like to give here tonight here at TBB?
Oh, you guys, of course, for doing the broadcast and the fans watching. And the league itself was pretty neat to see last week's finish posted on the iRacing site. And, of course, my teammates, Dalton, Brian, Ty, even though they didn't finish too well, I was glad to at least carry the banner for them. So, overall, a pretty interesting night.
Congratulations on the top 3 here, Taylor.
Yeah, appreciate you guys.
Taylor Butcher Benjamin getting a good run here tonight. Mike think to top 3 for Speaking West Jury post-race coverage here on Green Flag TV. On that note, these drivers going to have a busy time next time out. Emmett, your thoughts after a busy night as we get ready for Martinsville next week?
Well, I think there's going to be there'll be some payback coming at Martinsville. It's going to be beating and banging. It's going to be a short track. Gotta love it. Tonight was crazy. Who would have thought that we would have had? I didn't think they were going to catch them, but great finish. And I'm ready to get to Martinsville. Give me some hot dogs.
Coverage starts 7:30 p.m. once again. That's on August the 10th. Be sure to tune in. On that note, it's time to say goodbye for tonight's coverage here on Green Flag TV and what's been a busy night of racing here for this one. For everybody here at Green Flag TV, for my co-announcer Emma Crow, for Dustin Ollis, I'm Justin Prince saying so long. Enjoy the rest of your evening. You've been watching tonight's action of Blazing Pedals ARCA Series from Echo Park.